everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're starting another day, another week of Randa's Crafty Vlog. Today is Monday, October 24th. It is 3:36 p.m., so I have to hurry a little bit because restock is happening in like 20 minutes. But I wanted to come on and film this really quick, introduction to the new week. But today has been a busy day for me. That's why it's so late in the day, because restock is today and my scented candles are releasing today. So if you haven't seen them yet, they're going to be available on my Etsy shop long after this video comes out. And I will have a video on them right before this one and posts about them everywhere. Instagram, Facebook, all the good stuff. So if you haven't checked those out yet, go ahead and check those out. I have wooden wicks, cotton wicks, all the fun stuff. You match it with your scented putty and you have a good time. So, but I do have a little bit of crafting to show you because I did craft a little over the weekend. We didn't have a crazy weekend. Like on Saturday, we did a whole bunch of nothing, which was amazing. I didn't clean the house. I didn't do nothing. We sat all day. It was fantastic. And then Sunday, my mom threw us a little engagement party. So we went to my mom's house and we had a little get together last night, Sunday night, and it was really fun. We had a really good time. So that's about it. Well, and also I'm very excited because I have been waiting. Perry has told me that he wanted to wear an engagement ring as well. And I fucking loved that idea. I was so excited that he wanted to do that as well. And so I was like, well, great, we can get you just like a normal ring or whatever. Because of his job, he has to wear a silicone ring to work because it's not safe for him to wear a normal ring. So I was already planning on getting him a silicone ring anyway. And I was like, how about, because you know, when we get married, I add another ring to the stack. So I get a bit of an upgrade when we get married. And I was like, how about, so that you still get like a bit of an upgrade and we're not completely breaking tradition, that when we get married, you get a real ring. But for now, you just wear a silicone ring. That way you get to upgrade when you get married, when we get married, but you still get to wear a ring while we're engaged. And he said, that's a fantastic idea. Let's do that. So I ordered him a silicone ring like a couple days after we got engaged from Amazon. I bought him like a pack of 4 because I know they're going to break. So, and I'm thinking that was going to be here like so fast because Amazon. No, they just now shipped yesterday. I apparently was not looking at the delivery dates when I was purchasing it. I also got a silicone ring for myself. I got like a skinny white band for myself. I'm probably rarely going to ever wear it, but I think it's good to have just in case we decide we're going to like, you know, do a full day at the lake and I don't want to wear my ring. I can wear a silicone one, you know, stuff like that. Maybe traveling. I have no idea, but he'll be wearing his every single day. So I got him a pack of 4 and they just shipped out yesterday. We've been engaged for like 3 weeks now, so it took it a really long time, but it says they're going to be here on Friday. And I always told Perry that once that, you know, he proposed to me. And so when I have his ring, I'm going to propose back to him. So I need to do some thinking. I need to put my head on and figure out how I'm going to propose back to Perry this weekend after the rings show up on Friday. So I gotta put my fucking thinking cap on. Oops. Sorry, my phone's gonna die. I have to put my thinking cap on because I have no idea. So, because he was like so sneaky with it and I can't think of anything that's not like obvious. You know what I mean? Because he knows it's coming, so it's like, I don't want to be too obvious. I kind of would like to surprise him the way that he like completely took me off guard as well, but I don't know. So, but anyway, that's happening, which is very exciting. And like I said, I have crafting to show you. So I did both my cross stitch and my diamond painting this weekend. So let's start with diamond painting. I think I only did one section. Yeah, looks like it. So this is the section that I did this weekend. You can see the bottom row is done just like the last time I showed you, and then I just went up one section. Her skin is like extremely vibrant colors, which I think is gonna look really cool, but yeah, that's where we're at. So far, so good. It does like, this kit is taking me so flipping long because it's so confetti heavy. that like each section takes like hours, because you have to switch colors so much. So, but it's still a good time. It's still really fun. I'm still enjoying the quality. I was like, oh, let me do a smaller one so it won't take me as long. And it's going to take me like freaking forever. Anyway, that's that. And then my cross stitch, that's Winter by Treasure Studios Art, just by the way. The company's Treasure Studios Art. The piece is called Winter. The artist is Maria Abaniel. But Maria Abaniel, I don't think licenses with them anymore. And so none of her stuff is available on TSA's website anymore. I kind of am like, ooh, what if I could license with Maria Abaniel? That would be amazing. I love her stuff, but I don't know. We'll see. And then this is my cross stitch that I'm working on. This is, Map of Hawk Run Hallow by Carriage House Samplings. I am going on more than 6 months of working on this. I'm on page 4, 5. I'm on page 5 of a 6-page pattern. So I'm getting really close to being finished. I just have to do the bottom half of page 5 and then page 6 and then it's done. But I've been working on this for well over 6 months. I have to remember like what day I actually started it so that I'll know when I'm done how long it actually took me to work on it. But from the last time I showed you, I finished filling in this little background to Opal's boarding house. And then I did the house, this little doggy, and then started filling in the house. So that's where we're at. Let's do a Reddit story, shall we? Before I run out of time. Because I am going to run out of time. I've got less than 15 minutes. So let's do a quick one. Reddit. Oh, for the love of God. Is this one decently short? Yeah, it is. We're going to read it. It was 9 hours ago. It already has a good amount of awards and a lot of upvotes. This is an Am I the Asshole? Like I said, posted 9 hours ago. And this is called Am I the Asshole for calling my husband insane for missing work just to teach me a lesson because I didn't iron his uniform? I'm going to immediate off the bat vote no. You probably shouldn't have called him insane, but like this sounds like some misogynistic bullshit. Let's read. Days ago, I, stay-at-home mom of 3, while in the midst of doing laundry when my husband, breadwinner, works as a pilot, asked if I could iron his uniform before his shift. I didn't say yes because I was busy, laundry, then kids, homework, then cooking, etc. I said I may not find the time to do it. He turned around and walked away, completely ignoring what I was saying. An hour later, he came downstairs freaking out, asking why I didn't iron his uniform when he asked me to. I told him I was busy and reminded him of how I didn't say yes to his request. He blew up saying that I obviously don't care about him displaying professionalism at work. Quote, it's just a no, parentheses, not quote, parentheses, it's just a uniform. It's not like it was dirty, just needed some ironing, close parenthesis. He lectured me about how his work is important, and although I'm a stay-at-home mom, I still should make his job a priority. He decided to miss his shift as a way to, quote, teach me a lesson and show me how my lack of cooperation and my refusal to help him out could affect the money that keeps coming in. I called him insane for missing the shift, and he got offended and he called me a hypocrite for calling him insane and acting all surprised when it was me who caused this situation. I mean, I could have taken some time off doing my chores to iron his uniform, but still thought his reaction was a bit much. Am I the asshole? For those asking why he didn't iron the uniform himself, because I'm the one who usually does the ironing, and he said it's on the list of my house chores, which is true, but I didn't give it priority like the other chores like homework and laundry. No, I don't think she's the asshole. If he had said like, hey, can you iron this? And she said, yeah, absolutely. Then it would be like, yeah, you kind of suck for you said you would do it and you didn't. But like she explicitly said, I might not find the time to do it. And then he like skips his shift and like makes this big fucking raging deal about it. It's like, dude, chill the fuck out, man. That is so ridiculous. A, iron your own crap. Your wife is obviously busy. And B, Jesus. Top comment says, not the asshole. Offer to call his boss to personally apologize and explain why he missed his shift. He didn't go to work to teach you a lesson for not ironing his uniform. Yup. Next comment says, amazing idea. I'm here for this pettiness. I'm a little bit here for this pettiness too, because that sounds ridiculous. People expect way too fucking much out of stay-at-home moms. That like, she's raising 3 children. We don't know how old they are, but it's, you know, they are probably decently young. And she's supposed to do all the cleaning, all the cooking, all the child raising, all the, like, what was he doing in that hour before he had to leave for work? While she was running around like a chicken with her head cut off. Ridiculous. Let's see. This might be a good one. So it has a bunch of awards. It's actually under a different comment, but the comment says, in my opinion, it was never over an iron shirt, nor was it petty. It was about domination. He was showing her that when he demands her to do something, she has to, never mind how small it seems to be, because it's not about the thing, it's about her being obedient. She doesn't get a no. Refusing is simply not an option. She must be obedient always, or the consequences will be severe. This is terror. This is abuse. Like, kinda. Maybe fully, but like at least kind of abuse. This one has a lot of awards too. It says, for me, anytime an adult says they are/want to teach a lesson to another adult, it's a massive red flag and just cause to distance yourself away from them, if not to leave altogether. It portrays a manipulative mindset where they think they have the right to try and control other people's actions, not the asshole. Yeah. That's what I think about this. I think it's absolutely fucking ridiculous. Fuck this. Absolutely not. I would throw a fucking hissy fit. I would throw a fucking hissy fit. Let's see if there's any comments from OP. I didn't see any, but there's one. Okay, so the one comment from OP. The original comment says, OP's husband sounds like the type to financially abuse and punish OP for any imaginary transgression. Does he get violent with you, OP? Yell a lot? Yell at the kids? Has he been a good husband and father? And OP responds and said, thing is, he's known to be petty and is prone to exaggeration all of the time, which is frustrating. Yeah, fuck this guy. Fuck this guy. No, fuck this guy. That's it. Let's see. There was one I wanted to read. Oh shit, we have to do that real quick. There was one I wanted to see if there was an update for today. Hold, please. I have to find it. Where is it? Saved. Oh yeah, the one with the work wife, because she said she was going to talk about it. Do you guys remember? Is there an update? Oh, there's no update. Okay, never mind. Never mind, because there isn't an update. Do you guys remember the one where there was a relationship with husband and wife, and they went on like a work trip, and the proclaimed work wife was like being super fucking inappropriate and all this bullshit. She said she was going to make an update, but she hasn't yet, and that was 4 days ago. So we'll see if she ever gives an update on that. But that's it, y'all. I hope you're having a good day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Hello, everybody. I've been sucking at this. It is Wednesday, October 26th. It is 4:40 in the afternoon. I did not film anything yesterday because I like woke up and then was doing a few work things in the morning, doing payroll, whatever, and then went straight to therapy. Had to run a few errands and then got home, and like that was it. That was the end of the day. By the time I got home, it was like 5 o'clock. So, and then today I woke up and immediately I had a ultrasound, a transvaginal pelvic ultrasound, because I was having some pain with sex problems, and so my doctor was like, you should get a transvaginal ultrasound to see what's going on. And so I went and did that this morning, and they actually called me like a couple hours later and was like, no, everything's fine. I was like, okay. So I guess next time I go to see my doctor, I'll have to say, well, everything was fine. What do I do now? And then I had lunch with my mom, which was really just more work because we spent the entire time talking about money and budget and going over all that good. It took forever. And so it was basically like a work meeting. I've still been working all day, but it was all like numbers and whatever. Ridiculous. And now I just got home. I had to run another errand on my way home today, and I just got home. So, and it's 4:40. But I figured I'd hop on real quick and do another Reddit story. I don't have any crafting to show you, but I do have a Reddit story. So let's go find one. I have a couple other things that I want to do before Perry gets home. So, yeah, I need to get a move on. Let's see. This one has a lot of upvotes, and it was posted 14 hours ago, and it has a lot of awards. So, oh, for the love of God, it's kind of long. But that's okay. We'll figure it out. So this is an Am I the Asshole? It has a bunch of upvotes, 12,000 upvotes, a bunch of awards 14 hours ago. And it says, am I the asshole for expecting my son to share his room? Probably, possibly, but let's read. Background, my 40... What does SF and SM mean? My 40... I don't know what the S stands for. If somebody knows, because it says 40SF. So I know 40F is female. What is SF? Anyway, my 40 female husband, 40 male, and I bought a 3-bedroom house a few years ago, shortly before the pandemic. We, of course, took the master bedroom, and the other 2 bedrooms went to our children, then 12 female and 10 male. We put a very nice double bed in the larger room and a single bed in the smaller room, and told them both that they could choose their rooms, but whoever ended up in the larger room may be asked to share or relocate for visiting family members, while whoever ended up in the smaller room would always have it to themselves. Oh, I see where this is going, and if this is going where I think it's going, they're not the asshole. We almost never have family over. Hubby and I are both only children, and our parents are in other provinces. They must be in Canada. So we were surprised when our older daughter chose the smaller room and our younger son chose the larger room. But okay, they worked it out between themselves. Both seemed happy with the choice, so okay. And it remained that way for a couple of years. Now we have a 4-day weekend coming up. My kids are now 15 female and 12 male, and my mother decided to come down to visit. Of course, we told her okay, my husband and I, as we hadn't seen each other in a while, and I told our son with the larger room and bed that Grandma would be here for a few days and would be using his bed. Well, my son threw a fit. He didn't want to share a room with Grandma, not even on an air mattress, not even for 3 nights. She smells funny. Oh, good Lord. So we reminded him of the original deal and offered to put the air mattress in the living room, but that wasn't enough. He'd have no privacy there. His sister offered to let him put the air mattress in her room, which she wasn't required to do, and that wasn't okay either. Let him sleep in the bathtub for all I care. My husband and I offered to let him put the air mattress in our room, and he said no to that because sharing a room with your parents, yuck, God bless the privilege, but whatever. finally, I put my foot down and said the condition of you having the bigger room was that you'd give it up for visiting family members. So one way or the other, you're sleeping on an air mattress for 3 nights. You can choose if the air mattress goes in your room, our room, or the living room, or literally any room in the house, but you are sleeping on an air mattress while grandma is here. Shortly after that confrontation, my husband came to me and suggested that we encourage my mom to stay in a hotel. I asked him who was going to pay for the hotel since she can't afford it. We can't afford to put her up. And he went silent. Now he's calling me the asshole for forcing our son to give up his room for all of 3 nights, and he suggested that I tell my mom not to come at all since apparently none of us can afford it. And there's a lot of edits after that, but we'll just go off of that original. What the fuck, man? She is not the asshole at all. She told her son the conditions when he chose that room, and she's giving him a lot of choices. If you want privacy, you can sleep in the bathtub. You can sleep on top of the washer and dryer. I don't know, but figure it out. This happened to me as a kid too, that there have been times that I've had to sleep on a couch or sleep on somewhere, anywhere, because we had guests coming over and mine was the only extra room. That has happened to me before. It's not that big of a deal. I don't know why the son is freaking out over it. And it's like, okay, he's 12. He wants to jerk off in his room by himself. Okay, he's being a little brat about it, but whatever. We can teach him to not be a little brat about it. But the husband then doubling down and making it, no, telling her to not come at all? What the hell is that about? No, ridiculous. Ridiculous. This is why as of right now in Perry and I's life, we do have a guest room, and we're actually, since it's just the 2 of us and a 3-bedroom house, we're very fortunate because I have a whole room for my office for me, and there's a whole other room for guests to stay in, and we literally don't ever go in that other room unless there are guests here, and there's rarely guests here, so we always have a place for guests to stay, which has been so fantastic. But if Perry and I stay in this house forever, and the plan is to have 2 kids, and I want each of them to have their own room, so then we no longer have a guest room. So the kids would have to bunk up with each other while the guest is here. I think that's completely reasonable, and I don't understand what he's freaking out about, and I really don't know. The kid, he's 12, he's being a kid, whatever, teach him to not be a brat about it. But the husband? Ridiculous. Edit. I sincerely appreciate everyone's comments and judgment, but I have officially reached the point where every time I look at my notification, it adds 2 every second without me even having to hit refresh. Clearly, I should have posted this on my main account, but since apparently Reddit karma is important in some way, LOL. Yeah, Nash, I bet she has a lot of karma because there's, 4.3 thousand comments, 12,000 upvotes, and then to follow the comment, am I the asshole trend, and respond to some of the comment themes. 1, why don't I offer my own and my husband's bed to my mom? That's dumb. Where would they sleep? No, that's stupid. But anyway, let's read what her reasoning is. My husband has back problems and also cannot viably sleep on an air mattress. I will not be going into detail on this. I also assume that it will be incredibly obvious to everyone why it is not viable for my husband and mother to sleep in a bed while I sleep on an air mattress, not to mention that she would never allow me to give up my bed for her as a visitor. You're the adult, you shouldn't have to. Maybe that's just the way I was raised, but I don't fucking understand this. Number 2, why doesn't my mom sleep on the couch/air mattress? I don't even want to consider that. She's a guest, and she's an old woman. Unless it's when Perry and I had a 1-bedroom apartment and his friends would come to visit, granted his friends are in their mid-20s, And we told them before, if you're going to come, just so you know, all we got is a couch. And they slept on the floor instead of the couch. I don't know why, but they liked the floor better, I guess. And like, we told them that beforehand. And also they're 20, they're going to be fine. I would never, if there was other options, I would never tell my guest, especially an old woman, to sleep on a couch or an air mattress. And their answer is, she's 83 years old. Need I say more? No, you do not need to say more. 83! Imagine her joints. She needs a bed. This is ridiculous. 3, anything involving my son and daughter switching rooms. My daughter is willing to help in the short term, but she seems a bit smug right now about the overall room choice. She has no desire to switch rooms, and I will not force her, because what kind of parent would I be if I hold my son to the letter of his deal, but go back on my word to my daughter? You may decide I'm the asshole, and I'll accept that, but I am not a hypocrite. You're not the asshole at all. And you would be the asshole if you forced your daughter to switch rooms, because you're giving into your son's weird bullshit. Then, 4, I am fully aware of the privacy a 12-year-old boy requires. We had that conversation, and at the prompting of a couple commenters, I have also recently asked my husband if there was a private conversation between him and my son that would in some way change the situation. He said no. Since I do not currently have any reason to believe my son would lie to me outright, I'm considering that conversation closed. Yes, 12-year-old boy does require privacy. If this was a situation he had to live with day in and day out, I would get how that would feel really unfair. But it's 3 days. He can jerk off in the shower. Lock yourself in the bathroom for hours. I don't give a shit. Like, what? I don't understand this at all. 5, rip my DMs apparently. LOL. I don't know what happened to 40-something married moms, but please know that I am not interested. That's funny. The top comment that has gajillions of awards and a big red box around it says, not the asshole. Your son sounds a bit entitled, and if he can't survive 3 nights on an air mattress while his grandmother is there, expecting him to share a bed or a room with her would be excessive, but there are presumably other spaces in a 3-bedroom house where he could crash. And I was like, I wonder if there's a basement. You could crash in the crawl space. Like I said, you put the air mattress on, you put a twin size air mattress on top of your washer and dryer. Okay, I don't know, somewhere. In the past decades, 2 to 3 kids would share a room through their entire childhood and teenage years, and even today there are a ton of kids living in miserable conditions in slums, refugee camps, and other similar situations, and OP is being called the asshole for telling her son that he has to vacate his room for 3 nights while his 60 to 70-year-something old grandma, 83, mind you, visits so that she doesn't have to sleep on an air mattress or stay in a hotel. Just wow. I shared a room with my sister until we were like 13. Most of that was by choice. We probably could have had our own rooms at like 8 or 9 or something. Maybe even earlier than that. We chose not to. We chose to share a room until we were 13, but still, we shared a room until we were 13. It's not the end of the fucking world. But I have also said, this is just a me thing, whatever. This is just my own personal stuff. I don't want to have the number of kids that I'm willing to have stops when we run out of rooms for them. So like, we have 2 extra bedrooms right now. That means we can have 2 kids. That's where my limit is. My limit will always be at 2. Even if we had 6 bedrooms, my limit would be at 2. But if we only had 1 extra bedroom, then I only want to have 1 kid because I want our kids to have their own room. That's just me. But like, so I understand wanting your kid to have their own room because I do as well. But it's like, we've talked about, like, well, we had 2 kids, we put them in each room, where the hell would my office be? It's like, we'd have to like build on an extension, or we'd have to move or something, or they can share a room until they're like 10, and then we need to figure something out. That's what I always told Perry, but and he agreed with me. But it's like, but that's all beside the fucking point, because he has his own room and it's 3 nights. And get over yourself, and he's entitled. I want to see if there's anybody calling her the asshole and what they say, that it's like, a 12-year-old needs his privacy, and how dare you make him feel uncomfortable in his own home, and blah, 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 blah. I don't care. I am not on that wavelength. I think it's ridiculous. Not the asshole is, this sub is obviously full of children who think 3 days on an air mattress, which he agreed to. That's the other thing. He agreed to this. Anyway, is a kin. That 3 days on an air mattress is akin to some form of abuse that will leave him scarred well into his adult life. I think he can give his grandmother his bed and stop being a brat. Nothing against him, but is fairly typical kid behavior. That's what I was saying. He's a kid. We just teach him not to be a brat. But he's being a brat at the moment. I occasionally had to do the same for my parents. In hindsight, it was obviously the right call. You're not putting an elderly parent on a damn air mattress. That's insanity. Yeah, exactly. I want somebody that says that they are the asshole. They're just all saying, not the asshole, he's a toddler. I want to know where she was seeing all the comments that said that she was an asshole, because all of the ones I can see up here are that she's not the asshole. Not the asshole, absolutely not the asshole. Okay, so this, I don't think it really matters what this. Let's do OP's comments, because I just found one. We'll go back to the top. Go to the thing. Okay. Oh yeah, and this one just talks about her. That's not important. That's her saying panini instead of pandemic. It was like a banned word on a lot of things for a while, and so people called it a panorama, a panini, or whatever, instead of pandemic. But anyway, this comment that I just found, I don't think it's necessary for me to read the whole, because it's very long. But let's see. OP's response says, well, that was an interesting dose of perspective. Thank you for that. Normally, I'm not in favor of the, quote, you should appreciate what you have because others have it worse, quote, end quote, methodology. I'm not either. I hate that methodology. I always hated the, like, well, kids are starving in Africa, so eat your broccoli. Like, I think it's not useful. Because it's often used to invalidate perfectly legitimate struggles / burdens. I agree. Then I read the rest of your comment. It actually hadn't occurred to me that I may never be able to hug my mother again. And so that was a ... fun realization. Oh, geez. And the bit about his future boss definitely drove the point home. So yep, point made. Yikes. All right, fine, I'll read it. I'll read the original comment. Absolutely not the asshole. 1, your son agreed to the rule. Just because he regrets it now does not mean it goes away. 2, sleeping on an air mattress for 3 days is not the end of the world. He is having all of his needs met and then some. For fuck's sakes, there are kids sleeping in tents right now because they don't have a house, and your son is being an entitled brat because he has to check notes, sleep in a warm bed in a warm house for 3 nights. Seriously, find a way to let this kid see what actual suffering looks like, so maybe he'll appreciate that in the game of life. The kid was born on second base simply by virtue of having a warm, clean home. 3, sorry, Mom, I I know you're old and we may literally never see you again, but my son having his own bed is apparently more important than my ability to hug my mother again. Your son and your husband is an unempathetic brat who would be happy if you never saw your mother again, just because it would be inconvenient for him. Imagine telling someone they can't see their elderly mother for what may be the last time, telling them you can't hug their mother once more or even hold her hand because I refuse to give up my room for 3 days. Fuck, it's so entitled, it's evil. 4, you are the adult, you are in charge, the child is not in charge. Then it says it again, the child is not in charge, and in bold, the child is not in charge. If and when the kid owns his own house, he can be in charge of whatever the fuck he wants. Who stays and where they go. Until then, it's your house, you're the adult. Tell your husband to be the fucking adult and take charge. Don't let a kid with an overdeveloped sense of entitlement and an underdeveloped sense of empathy dictate what happens in the house. What lesson does that send? I can already see his future. Boss, this is Johnson. He is sharing your office now. Your son, what? No, fuck that. I don't share my space. Boss, well, you're fired. Son, this is an outrage. Boss, no, this is life. Now get out. Cue your son returning home and demanding his room back while grumbling about how it isn't fair. Teach him now or set him up for failure forever. It won't be easy, but hard lessons like this rarely are. I think it's a really good point. There's a couple more. God, there's a lot. Oh, there's not just a couple more. There's a lot. Oh my. Oh, I found one that says you're the asshole. Okay, this comment says you're the asshole. So much changes between 10 and 12 years old, and he hasn't grown accustomed to being kicked out of his space over that time since no guests have come. So now he's in a new place developmentally, and privacy and agency really do matter. I can see how this would feel like a violation to him. Please hear his heart and try to connect with him. His changing needs matter. Instead, it feels like he's being overlooked and pushed aside. That can't feel good to him and won't do anything to help him want to connect with his grandma while she's there. And that's the thing is what I'm saying to you guys is very harsh. And the way that I would say it to an actual child is worlds different. That it would be a lot about, I understand this is how you're feeling, but think about how your grandma feels and think about what might be best for her. And think about, you try to instill some empathy in them while also understanding their feelings and we had a rule in my house with my mom growing up that you were always allowed to argue with her as long as you weren't being mean. You were always allowed to disagree with her. You were always allowed to have a conversation with her. But of course she got the final say at the end of the day. But if you could convince her that your way was the way to go, then amazing. That it was always an open conversation, an open dialogue. It was never do it because I said so. And I loved being raised that way. And so that's how I would take it upon with my kids. So it's going with, I understand what you're feeling. Can you tell me a little bit more about why you're feeling this way? Can we talk about it a little bit? Can I, explain to you why I think your grandma needs to be in your room? So that you guys can create a dialogue. So as much as I'm being very harsh here, I want to make it very clear that I would do it very differently. I would say it very differently if I was actually talking to a 12-year-old. And then she quoted, now he's in a new place developmentally. I can see how this would feel a violation. Please hear his heart and try to connect with him. His changing needs matter. And OP says, I hear this and appreciate it. I believe we've been aware of this, but I see your point about this specific situation may have felt violating to him. I will take that into account and try to create a conversation in the near future. Thank you sincerely. So it wasn't even a mean, you're the asshole. It's they have a point. And I definitely think you approach this delicately and with empathy, the same way you want him to have empathy. The rest of them are... Oh yeah, and then they're talking about, none of the rest of these are to go home for, but I think you have a conversation with him where you say, I want you to explain more of what you are feeling so that I can understand, and, and then give him empathy, and then say, but here's what your grandma needs, and here's how I'm feeling, and can we come to some sort of a resolution and have this is how you teach them to have a conversation, and this is how you teach them empathy. So yeah, that's what I would do. Let's see really quick if there happens to be an update on that one post. Oh, there's an update. Oh, there's 2 updates. Oh my goodness. Okay. I feel like we have to read this. Jeez, where's Perry? Do you guys remember the story about the work wife? I mentioned it earlier in this video. It was the very first, I think it was it was the very last story I read in last week's video, where this woman has proclaimed OP's husband she has self-claimed herself as his work wife, and they cross a shit ton of boundaries, and they're really weird with each other, and they think that it might be, they texted and they were like really rude to their partners in front of each other on like a work trip, and like the OP kind of thinks that they're at the minimum being dicks, and at the worst they're screwing. They're like fucking each other. And there's 2 updates now. Okay, so 1 day ago and then 7 hours ago. Okay, update. I don't like the relationship between my husband and his work wife, and neither does her partner. If you don't remember or know the original story, go to my last video and my last, not video, but my last, vlog, my last Randa's Crafty vlog, and go to the very last day. It's the last story that I tell. Sorry I didn't come back earlier to make an update. I was mentally exhausted and of course busy discussing Kim K. That was one of the jokes, was that she's a makeup artist, and so what can you discuss besides Kim K? Anyway, I want to apologize for not answering your messages because I got over 200 asking for updates. I really hope you can find this. I have talked to my husband. I told him that I have talked to work wife's BF and showed him the messages I sent him. My husband asked why her BF was spying on his girlfriend, and I told him that it was because he didn't like the way things went down on the trip. I told him how I was too very uncomfortable. He was very confused and told me that work wife obviously was jealous and that I shouldn't care about her. I told him that she doesn't bother me as much as the fact that he was amused by her attempts to bring me down the entire time. Yes. So much, in fact, that her BF was so uncomfortable that he went through her phone. I also asked why he was letting her trash talking me in the text, because that was the thing. They were texting each other and like trash talking the wife. Again, he insisted that he just felt that she was that she just felt that she was petty and jealous and didn't want to stoop to her level. He said that I did the same when I ignored her rudeness, and he thought that was the classy thing to do. You're an idiot. Anyway, I asked him why she was doing this. Was there anything between them, and to please tell me now before it got more complicated. He said of course not, and if there was something from her end, then that wasn't his problem because he loved me, and so on and so forth. I asked about him, quote, loving her brain, which he said in the text message, and he said it was strictly about something work-related and offered to show me the conversation. Next day, I was still brooding, so he came to me, kissed me, and apologized and told me that I was right and that he was being stupid, but that he never thought about it as disrespect but some female jealousy, and he thought was pitiful and beneath him. He promised to do better. I told him that if somebody was trashing you like this in front of me, no matter how petty their reasons were, or how pathetic I thought they were, I would have hated them and never wanted them in my life. Unfortunately, I started crying, and then he told me that he was so sorry. That was on Sunday. What do you mean, unfortunately, you started crying? Anyway, yesterday, the BF called me and we talked again. We had decided to talk after confronting our SOs. Their conversation was worse, and work wife admitted to her BF that she had feelings for my husband, and she suspected that my husband had feelings for her too. They have kissed at the summer work party. I showed my husband the screenshots when he got home. He started freaking out and telling me that yes, she did kiss him, but he rebuffed her and told her that he wasn't interested. This man is a fucking liar and 3/4. That was when she got nastier towards me, so you knew she had a thing for you. He said yes. I asked him to show me his phone, and he had deleted his conversation with her. He said it was because he was embarrassed. He didn't tell me that the kiss happened, and now he was afraid I would think it was more than that. It might be, because you're not telling her. I asked him to move out, and he's currently at his mother's. He said he keeps saying that there's nothing between them, that he loves me and would never cheat on me, that he will make her come clean to me, that he will quit his job and never see her again. I'm just so broken-hearted right now, and all I want is to cry. Thank you for listening. I needed this. Edit. Maybe I should have mentioned that he also told me that he could prove that it was she who came on to him because it happened in the office cafeteria and there are surveillance cameras that he could request a clip from that day. I don't know why I didn't include it, maybe because who kissed who doesn't really change how I feel about the whole ordeal. It doesn't change how I feel about it either. It doesn't matter because he purposefully left that part out, which means that he had reason to worry about it. You know what I mean? That it's if it truly was this crazy coworker coming on to him, that could have been a funny story that he told when he came home from work that day. I'm not going to read the comments because we don't have time. Update 2. This was 7 hours ago. I don't like the relationship between my husband and his work wife, and neither does her partner. Oh my God, it's another long one. Okay. Hi, I don't feel comfortable making a new update on the True sub because honestly, I'm embarrassed that I'm taking so much of your attention. Writing, however, has helped me a lot. It's like therapy. My husband showed up at my work today. He said that he has never felt so scared in his life like when he realized that he was losing me. He has contacted the BF, apologized to him, and asked him to forward all the texts between him and his work wife. He printed them and gave me everything, over a year's worth of texting. He told me when work wife confessed to her BF, she sent the text about admitting to the kiss to her BF, the text I got a screenshot of. My husband panicked and deleted the whole conversation, but now he got everything from the BF and I could read it. He also had brought a picture with him of him when he was young, 12 to 13-ish, with a girl. He said he searched this picture and now he's living with his mom. He told me that it was his favorite cousin and that she committed suicide when they were 16. She was bullied severely. I never heard my husband talk about this cousin. I know of her from his family, but never that they were close and that her death devastated him. He said that he still wasn't ready to discuss her, but that now he needed to. What the fuck? Why bring any of this up? You've never heard of this cousin before. And now shit is hitting the fan and you're telling her about this cousin. What else is this man hiding from her? He admitted that when work wife started working for them August 2021, he immediately bonded with her because she reminded him of his cousin. That's where the cousin comes in. This is ridiculous. Both goofy, funny, and extremely intelligent. They even looked a little alike, kind of true. Their bond got stronger when work wife told him about her tough childhood and how she was bullied throughout school, how she suffered and contemplated suicide. My husband said that he felt like he got his cousin back. Work wife knew that my husband was married, newlywed actually, and it didn't seem to be a problem for her in the beginning. He admitted that he sensed that she was falling for him very soon, but that he never really confronted her about it because he didn't want to hurt her feelings. When she saw me in a picture, she got very angry at him and said that she was very disappointed in him. I looked the type that would bully people like her and my husband in high school. This whole situation and this woman is so stupid. She was disappointed and asked him what he saw in me. He told her that he loved me, but she was sour afterwards, discussing him of being shallow. He asked her to give me a chance at the Christmas party. She didn't change her opinions, however. He wasn't bothered that she disliked me. He thought that she was jealous. He knew that she was decided on not giving me a chance, and that was fine with him. I thought that this will be one of the things they will have to disagree on. He thought that this will be one of the things they have to disagree on. Let me just, before I move on, if there is anybody in my life that vehemently doesn't like Perry, my fiance, they're out of my life immediately. So, and like for no fucking reason, just because they're jealous or like whatever. So what is he doing? He is still adamant that he never kissed her back, and he is adamant about getting the recording of that party. He said he pushed her, and after the party, he had a fight with her about boundaries and confronted her about her feelings. He told her that they could no longer be friends now and that she had crossed the line. You can tell your wife that, though. Like, there's something he's hiding. We went on a 5-week vacation that day after that party, and he said that if I read the text from that time, I would find that she had apologized several times, asking for forgiveness, begging him not to ditch her as a friend. After summer, their relationship was strained, but they eventually became closer again. He said he doesn't know why he felt like she needed him in her life, like she needed his protection. He always thought about being put in harm's way, and he couldn't stand the thought. He swore that it was never romantic or sexual. He admitted that he loved her like a friend or like if his cousin was still around. He told me that he has handed in his resignation and will be seeking new jobs. He's realized that he has to let work wife go. He admitted that he even now is worried about her. She is losing both her BF and him, but that he needs to remind himself that she is a grown-up woman and not his 16-year-old cousin. She'll be fine. And about my fears that he loves me for how I look, he said that he is sorry if he ever made me feel that way and that it is far from the truth. When he thinks about us, he sees us growing old together and the prospect fills his heart with joy and much love. He needs therapy. They probably need to not be together. This is a lot. OP says, I don't know if I can move past this. He is still living with his mom, and I still told him that I wanted to be separated until I've sorted out my feelings. I didn't bring up the D word, divorce, like I had planned. Jesus. But it's like, I don't know. He hid things about this. He lied about this cousin for some fucking reason, and then claims that this woman then like reminded him of her cousin, even though he knew she was in love with him. This is not a good situation for me. But anyway, I think I might have heard Perry come home. So I'm going to end that for today. If there's more updates, we'll continue reading because fun. But I hope you guys are enjoying this. Sorry I skipped a day. I probably won't be recording tomorrow either because I'm going to my employee's house, but then I'll be back on Friday. So I'll see you guys on Friday. Hello, everybody. Sorry if you can hear my TV playing in the background. I hope you can't, but I just decided to stop mid what I was doing to film this really quick because the vlog hasn't gone up yet and I feel like you guys need to be updated. So it is Monday, October 31st. I think the last time that I talked to you was Wednesday. I think Wednesday was when I went to my ultrasound and then had lunch with my mom. And I was telling you that the next day I was going to my employee's house. My life has completely flipped upside down since then. Funny how things change like that, yeah? So I sort of didn't tell you guys going into this because I didn't know what was going to come of it. But how do I want to phrase this? And now I can't think of the word. sort of, what is it? The relationship, that's the fucking word. The relationship between me and my employee had, like, the professional relationship had not been working. As you guys know, my employee is also my cousin. So that it's not gonna, as far as I can tell, it's not gonna affect our personal relationship as family. But in a professional sense, it was not going well. She had expectations of me financially that I couldn't meet, and I had expectations of her that she wasn't meeting. And so it ended up affecting our relationship and affecting the business. Sales had been down. We've had a couple weeks of not very good money, and a lot of them were based on shipping stuff. Stuff was not getting out fast enough. Stuff was sitting in pre-transit for days and days and days. Weeks. We would be weeks behind. And I was getting messages on Etsy every single day about it. And I went and I tried to talk to her about it, and things didn't change. And so I was like, I have to do something. Because it's going to start really affecting my business, and I'm going to lose my customers, and like, I can't do this. And so I decided that something needed to change, and that it seemed like she had like a lot of work on her plate. And so I was like, I'm going to go and tell her that I'm going to take over shipping. What she did for me was she made the putty, she made the wax, she shipped everything out. I did everything else, you know, all the background stuff, all the marketing, all the whatever. And so I said, you know, you can continue doing putty and wax, but I'm going to take the shipping. And because of that, I'm going to have to cut your pay. That you're not going to make the same amount that you used to. And here is the amount that you will make. And she didn't, there was a whole conversation that's a really long story that I'm not going to get into because it's not related, but she decided that part-time with me was not going to work with her, that doing part-time with me and part-time with somebody else was just not happening, and so she fully quit on Thursday, gave me all of the supplies, all of the stuff, and I went on my way. I was not expecting her to quit on Thursday. I really thought that she was going to want to do part-time with me still, but she didn't see that happening. So I was there at her house for like an hour. We talked. She quit. So I thankfully the same day was able to hire somebody else who's going to just do putty. So from here on out, so you guys know, I have somebody, another employee, part-time employee, who is going to be making the putty, and then I'm going to make the wax. I'm going to ship everything out. So there will be no more miscommunications when it comes to if addresses need to be changed and if you need signature confirmation and like blah, 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 whatever needs to be done shipping-wise, then there'll be no more miscommunications like there has been. For any of you who might have experienced that, I'm sorry. And I will be shipping everything out personally from here on out. It's been a mess. You should see. You want to see the state of my office? This is like better, actually, because I have a lot of crap out in the living room. But this is the state of my office currently. Everything is like my whole office is going to change because I have a desk. My mom gave me a desk that she was getting rid of that's going to go on that back wall. That's going to be like shipping central. And that's where I'm going to ship all of your packages. So I'm going to be able to do lives while I'm shipping. I'm going to be able to do TikToks of me shipping your stuff, you know, all of that good stuff. So it'll be good. But the reason that I'm struggling right now, A, because it's chaos in here and I need to figure out how to get everything organized, and B, when my old employee, my ex-employee, handed everything to me, she was about 2 weeks behind. So I have spent every single day. I worked this entire weekend. I have spent every single day since last Thursday catching up to get us to the current time frame. And what I like to run the business as is a week ahead. So I wanted everything for like putty and wax that's going to be released on Monday to be made before it goes live on Monday. And so I needed everything for this week to be done today. And then I wanted everything shipped out today so that because I'm training my new employee later this week, and I want to be able to say, okay, here's your stuff, get it done before Monday. And then I'll list that stuff on Monday and I'll ship it out after that. You see what I mean? So I have been running myself up a wall getting everything done because we were so far behind. And a lot of the delays have been because we were running low on a lot of supplies, and I've had to order a lot of supplies last minute and they're not coming in time. So all orders will go out this week. But it might take me a little bit of time, especially if you ordered wax last week, because I ran out of wax. So it's gonna take me a little bit to get caught up. So anybody who's watching, if you have orders right now, just be patient with me. I'm trying so hard to get everything caught up and done. And once everything is caught up, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be great. I don't mind doing the extra work that she was doing. So like, it's totally gonna be great. It's just, this is chaos at the moment. So I'm getting everything out as fast as I humanly can. And yeah, so just bear with me. And everything's going out as fast as I humanly possibly can. So I am spending all day today packing orders, getting everything out. And my mom actually came and helped me make putty and helped me pack orders last Friday. I worked all day Saturday. I worked all day Sunday. I'm working all day today. I'm not getting a break. So I just wanted to check in and tell you guys that anybody who has experienced slow shipping or problems like that with me in the past, we're sort of changing gears, changing management. Not changing management because I've always been management, but changing the way that we do things. And now it's all done by yours truly. So orders will be out once I'm done with this chaos. Orders will be out within 4 to 5 days of you ordering it. Period. So maximum is 7. That's it. No longer than 7. And but really 4 to 5 days. And so for anybody I'm gonna send out Etsy messages to everybody who has ever had problems with shipping in the past or anything like that. But if you're watching and you've ever experienced shipping problems with me in the past, things taking too long, sitting in pre-transit for too long, I promise you that's never going to happen again. And I'm doing my best to bring my business back to where I want it to be, to bring it back to the level of customer service that I expect. And so I'm so sorry. I appreciate everybody who has been patient with me through all of this. And I promise it is getting better from here on out. So that's it. That's all I have to say is that things are changing. Things are going to get better. But bear with me for the next week because I am in hell trying to get everything caught up. So I need to get back to what I was doing because I only have a couple hours before the day is over. Fuck. But thank you guys for watching this episode. There will not be a Randa's Crafty vlog next week or this week or whatever for obvious fucking reasons that I don't fucking have time. I'm trying. To me, it's more important to get orders out than it is to do these videos. So I will get back to doing these videos after that. But for this week, I need to get things back in order because this is ridiculous. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm sorry it was so chaotic. Things are going to get better and easier, and I'm going to get on a new schedule, but we're going through a big change right now. So thank you all so much. I love you so much. I hope you had a good time crafting while you were listening to this. And thank you. That's it. Bye.